Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna. Let us start. Gururbrahma, Gururvishnu, Gururdevo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshal Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sindhurarunavigraham Trinayana Manikya Taranayaka Shekaram Smidamukima Bhinavakshoruham Panibhyam Malipurna Ratna Chashakam Rattotpalam Bipratim Saumyam Ratnagadastharakta Charanam Dhyayet Paramambikam Dhyayet Padmasanastam Vigasitavadanam Padmapatraya Dakshim Hemabam Pidavastram Karagalidalasat Hemapadmam Varangim Sarvalankara Yuktam Sadadam Abhayadam Bhaktanam Rambhavanim Shri Vidyam Shantamurtim Sakala Suranudam Sarvasambat Pradatrim Sagunguma Vilebana Malika Chumbikasturikam Samandajireshanam Sasarajava Vashangusham अशेष जनमोहिनी मरुणमाल्य भूषोज्वलां जपा कुसुमवासुरां जपविदौ स्मरेदम्बिकाम् अरुणां करुणातरङ्गिताक्षीं वृद्धभाषाङ्कुशपुष्पबाणचापाम् अणिमादिविरावृतां मयूकैः अहमित्येव विभावये महेशीम् ॐ पराशक्ति नमः Om Parashakti Namaha. Om Parashakti Namaha. Okay, so today we will do from 76 till 80. Our objective is to cover from 76 till 80. So you can also chant, but like I said, with an Om before and a Namaha after the names. Om Vishukra Pranaharana Varahi Virinandidaye Namaha. Om Kameshwara Mukhaloga Kalpita Shri Ganeshwaraye Namaha. Om Mahaganesha Nirbhinna Vignayantra Prashitaye Namaha. Om Bandasurendra Nirmukta Shastra Pratyarsavarshинye Namaha. Om Karangulina Gotpanna Narayana Dashagritye Namaha. These are the 5 names we are going to cover today by the grace of Lalitha Tripurasundari Devi. So yesterday we were introduced to the 2 demons, 2 demonic brothers of Bhandasura. These demonic brothers, one emanating from his left shoulder, and the other emanating from his right shoulder. The one emanating from his left shoulder was Vishanga, and the one emanating from his right shoulder was Vishukra. The 76th verse is Om Vishukra Pranaharana Varahi Virya Nanditayai Namaha. Vishukra Pranaharana Varahi Virya Nandita. When you pronounce it as one of the names, Vishukra Pranaharana Varahi Virya Nanditayai Damaha. The yai being added at the end. So Vishukra is the demon. Where is the demon? The demon is the brother of Bandasura, and he is the demon emanating from the right shoulder of Bandasura. Vishukra. Pranaharana means killing. The killing. Varahi is referring to the Varahi Devi. We will understand Varahi Devi. Virya Nandita again means delighted. So the Devi who is delighted with the prowess of Varahi, who took the life of Vishukra. Vishukra's life was taken by Varahi Devi. Who is Varahi? Varahi is the Shakti known as Dandini. And there is a Tripura Siddhanta. Tripura Siddhanta narrates that Devi appeared before the sage Varaha Nandanatha. So Devi appeared before this sage Varaha Nandanatha in the form of a Varaha boar, in the form of a boar, which is also called as the Varaha Murti. And therefore, since then, she is known as Varahi or Varahi Devi. That is how Varahi Devi is supposed to have been formed. Now, Vishukra, the name Vishukra is supposed to represent, the literal meaning is one who embraces sorrow. The other one was Vishanga. Vishanga is full of poison. This is one who embraces sorrow. So if you are a person who always likes to be morose, always likes to be sorrowful, then you can imagine yourself as another Vishukra. Instead, you should try to be the opposite. You should try to be happy. Not just externally happy, you should be internally also happy. So Vishukra is one who embraces sorrow. And how does sorrow come? Sorrow comes when the jiva, the jivatma embraces the senses or samsara. When Maya is embraced by the jivatma, that is when you become more sorrowful, because when you embrace Maya, when you embrace samsara, there is no end to your desires and wants. So if you get something tomorrow, you'll say, no, this is not enough, I want something more. And then you get that, then they, no, this is not enough, I want something more. I want to keep getting more and more. Your wants and desires keep increasing. When your wants and desires keep increasing, you will never be happy. Happiness will never happen. You will never achieve that state of bliss. To achieve that state of bliss, you should learn to stop embracing the concept of samsara, to go away from Maya. So, whenever you have thirst for worldly pleasures, worldly pleasures, that is depicted by Vishukra and Vishanga. So, once you are inside, once you are trapped in this circle of sorrow, it is very difficult to escape this circle of sorrow, and you stay immersed in countless miseries. So you get into things like all the aspects we covered yesterday, which is jealousy, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, malsarya. You get into all those things, and there is no way you can escape this sorrow of the mind, which is going to happen. In fact, there is one bhajan which is sung by Mata Mridanandamayi, which is in Malayalam, and it goes like this: Manase nin swandamai ഒരുത്തരുമില്ലെന്നുള്ള പരമാർത്ഥമെല്ലായ്പ്പോഴും സ്മരിക്കുക നീ. മനസ്സേ നിൻ സ്വന്തമായി ഒരുത്തരുമില്ലെന്നുള്ള പരമാർത്ഥമെല്ലായ്പ്പോഴും സ്മരിക്കുക നീ. Manase means the mind. Nin swandamai, as yours. There is nobody who belongs to you. Oruttarum illa ennulla paramartham, the supreme truth. You should always remember and reflect on that. That is what Amma sings. It is one of her very famous, very old bhajan, probably sung in the early 80s, where she talks of in fact she goes on to say അർത്ഥശൂന്യമായ ഓരോ കർമ്മങ്ങളെ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട്. പിന്നെ അവിടെ വ്യർത്ഥമായി സംസാരത്തിൽ. So in that, basically there is no point, artha shunyam, there is no point in doing lots of spiritual practices. If you remember, I wrote in the bhajan mandali of spiritual practices versus practicing spirituality. They are two different things. Spiritual practices versus practicing spirituality. They are two different, completely different things. Spiritual practices saying that, you have to do this arati like this, you have to do this, you have to do that, all these things. Why are we doing this? First we should understand that, because somebody said so. Why? You should understand why you're doing it before you actually do it. What is the benefit that it gives to you? You should understand that very well before you actually get around to doing such a thing. And those practices, doing those practices aimlessly, doing those practices because your somebody has told you to do it, is not going to help you in your spiritual progress. For you to achieve progress spiritually, you should practice spirituality. You should practice spirituality, selflessness, godliness, understanding the divinity in the other person, learning to respect the other person, learning to get rid of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, malsarya, getting to learn to give up all these things. These are all what spirituality actually means, and that is what we need to practice. So that is what this bhajan talks about. This is just by the by. The jiva, when in samsara, is jiva which is in bondage. When when the jivatma is stuck in this circle of sorrow, it is the jivatma is in constant bondage. That position of jiva is called as baddha jiva. And when the jiva has transcended samsara, goes beyond samsara and becomes a liberated jiva, that state is called as mukta jiva. So you have two positions. One is a baddha jiva and the other is mukta jiva. These are the two states of jiva. Now, if you remember Bandaputra Vadodyukta, 74th name of Devi, 75th Mandranyamba Virajada Vishangapada Doshita, and the 76th Vishukra Pranaharana Varahi Viryanandita. These three refer to the impurities of the mind. These three refer to the mental state and how things can go wrong with the mind. And these impurities are known as Anava impurities. And it talks of how we can eradicate them. So Devi is extremely delighted with Varahi. What does Varahi do? She takes the life of Vishukra. She is the person who has actually killed Vishukra. And Vishukra is the other demonic brother of Bandasura. Yeah. So Devi is delighted to see the advances that the sadhak makes when he tries to elevate his soul from that of a bonded person to a mukta jiva. So this is what is being referred to in this 76th name of Devi, which is Vishukra Pranaharana Varahi Viryanandita. The next one is Kameshwara Mukhaloga Kalpita Shri Ganeshwara. Kameshwara Mukhaloga Kalpita Shri Ganeshwara. Kameshwara Mukhaloga. Om Kameshwara Mukhaloga Kalpita Shri Ganeshwarayai Namaha. She who gives rise to Ganesha by a glance at the face of Kameshwara. We have all heard the story of how Ganesha was created. Ganesha was created as he was born as a Kumara. He was created as a Kumara by Parvati Devi and kept to guard, made to stand guard outside Parvati Devi's palace as Parvati Devi was going for a bath. And the people who came, Lord Shiva's followers who came to meet, to try and enter the palace, were not allowed inside. And finally the head was removed. And Parvati Devi was very upset, and they went and found the first animal that came by, and that was the animal was an elephant, and therefore that elephant's head was brought and joined with that of the body of that Kumara, and that became Ganesha. Yeah. So this was the story that we all know. Now this is another version. This is another version where what this version is that Kameshwara Mukhaloka. Kameshwara, who's Kameshwara? Kameshwara is Lord Shiva. Kameshwara is Lord Shiva. Mukhaloka, Mukha is face. Aloka means look or a glance. A glance at the face of Kameshwara. Kalpita, which gives rise. Shri Ganeshwara. So just a glance, she who gives rise to Ganesha by a glance at the face of Kameshwara. So this is what this means. Now you have a lot of, when you are faced in this, you are immersed in the samsara. This world is full of samsara, and you are immersed in the samsara. When you are immersed in the samsara, the demonic powers inside create a lot of obstacles. A lot of obstacles are created by these demonic powers, and they prevent the advancement of the jiva from a state of being bound to a state of liberation. So she wanted to find a solution. Devi wanted to find a solution. What was the solution? When Devi threw all these obstacles in the face of in the path of the Devas, when the Asuras threw all these obstacles in the path of the Devas, Devi looked at Lord Shiva, and just by a glance of that was born a deity with a face of an elephant, and that face of the elephant had it is called as in there no mada was oozing from the forehead of that elephant. The mada was oozing from the forehead of that elephant, and that creature or creation from of that person is called Vigneshwara. Vigneshwara is the remover of Vigna, remover of Vigna Ishvara. Vigna is obstacles, removes all obstacles, and all the obstacles which were in the path of the Devas was removed by Vigneshwara, and that is the reason why Vigneshwara is always prayed to first. When we have our bhajans also, the first bhajan we sing is a bhajan to Ganesha or Vigneshwara. Always we sing a bhajan to Vigneshwara so that he removes all the obstacles that are going to come, that can possibly come in front of us. Now, the word Ganeshwara or Gana, Ganeshwara comes from the word Gana. Gana means the body. And what is the body formed of? The body is formed of 8 parts. Our body is formed of 8 parts. These 8 parts are the organs of action, the organs of perception, the mind, the pancha pranas, the 5 bhutas, pancha bhutas, kama, karma, and avidya. Avidya is also a part. Avidya, yeah, the lack of knowledge. Yeah, Ganeshwara is the deity presiding over all of this. Ganeshwara presides over all these 8 parts of the body, and therefore Ganeshwara is the most important person we have to pray to first, to ensure that all these aspects of the body are taken care of before we get on to the next of the activities. Yeah. Now, any effect of evil spirits is removed by ensuring that you pray to Lord Ganesha or Lord Vigneshwara. Kameshwara Mukhaloka Kalpita Shri Ganeshwara. This is the 77th name of Lalitha Tripurasundari Devi. We'll go to the 78th name. We are still with Ganesha. Mahaganesha Nirbhinna Vignayantra Praharshita. Om Mahaganesha Nirbhinna Vignayantra Praharshitayai Namaha. So this is the complete name. She who rejoices when Ganesha shatters all obstacles. she who rejoices when Ganesha shatters all obstacles. So, we talked of the Mahabharata Yuddha. The Mahabharata Yuddha was the battle between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. How many Kauravas are there? There were 100. How many Pandavas are there? 5. So when this battle was happening, they say that these 5 Pandavas are your 5 senses. Panchendriyangal. Yeah. And these 5 senses are fighting what? 100 Kauravas, 100 Asuras. These are the 100 ways you can distract your body. So that is this Mahabharata battle is happening inside us. Always happening inside us at all times. So this journey of the jiva from the bondage, samsara bondage to liberation is also a battle. It's considered as a battle. You want to call it Mahabharata or you want to call it whatever, that is entirely up to you. We also spoke about waking up in the morning for yoga. Waking up in the morning for yoga. When you wake up in the morning for yoga, that is when your Mahabharata happens inside your body. Because the good sense inside your body, your Pancha Pandavas are telling you, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Your 100 Kauravas are telling you, sleep, 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 sleep. Yeah. So those of you who struggle to wake up in the morning for the yoga class, remember that your Kauravas are stronger. Your Kauravas are much stronger. You better make sure that your Pandavas become much more stronger, and then you come for the class and not look for a reason and say, nahi mere ko ye hua hai, nahi mere ko wo hua hai, I am feeling tired, raat ko bahut der soya. All these are good reasons, but wake up in the morning. Wake up in the morning. Wake up in the morning. Wake up as early as possible so that you get a head start for your life. All right. Now, there are these 5 birds. We talked of the sense organs just now. That's the next point that is coming up. So, these 5 birds. I talked about this earlier. These 5 birds are feasting on the different fruits which are the sense objects. There are different fruits which are considered as the sense objects. Where are these birds? These birds, the usage that the writer talks of is, these are enclosed in the stinking cage that is the body. It's the exact words that the user has talked about. The stinking cage that is the body. So inside the stinking cage, these 5 birds are floating around, flying around, looking at the sense objects, and ultimately preventing the soul from becoming a liberated soul. They fly around artfully dodging obstacles. During countless cycles of birth and death, they play in different cages. These are the birds which we have to get rid of. These birds, we have to conquer these birds. As once we have this human birth, it is our responsibility to conquer these human births, and so that once we conquer these birds, that's when Banda's efforts to obscure and prevent us from rising are overcome. Whatever efforts Bandasura takes will get overcome only when these birds, these sense organs which are within our body, are overcome. So what happened was that when Banda saw that all these Shaktis had destroyed his army, in an earlier name of Devi I talked about it, and the Shakti army, the Shakti complete army had destroyed Banda's army. When the Shaktis had destroyed his army, what he did was he summoned Vishukra and ordered him to use something called as the Jayavigna Yantra. Jayavigna Yantra is a very difficult yantra, and it is very difficult to deploy that yantra. So when he tried deploying that yantra so many times, when it did not happen, what did he do? He threw that yantra into the Devi's army. When he threw the yantra into the Devi's army, the effect of the yantra resulted in all the people in the Devi's army becoming dim-witted, sleepy, and disinclined to fight. They became dim-witted, sleepy, and disinclined to fight. Just compare this with what happens in our yoga class, waking up in the morning. In the morning, You are trying to wake up. Instead, this Jayavigna Yantra is thrown at us. And when the Jayavigna Yantra is thrown at us, what happens? We become dim-witted. We don't use our head. We become sleepy. And we are not willing to fight the demon of sleep. And we want to, what do we say? We want to find the pillow and hug the pillow and sleep for another 5 minutes. That 5 minutes might end up as 50 minutes. And then what will happen? Panic. I have to get up, I have to run, I have to take bath, I have to do this. If you're a wife, you have to prepare food for the spouse, prepare food for yourself. If you're working, run. Why? Because of that 5 minutes which became 50 minutes. Not worth it. Wake up, pull yourself out of bed and try and make sure that you, without getting caught by the demon called as sleep, wake up and come out of that slumber. So, and they're saying it is easy to identify these effects of the yantra with the slothfulness and the loss of direction suffered by a seeker at the height of sadhana. You're at the height of sadhana. And it is like that snake and ladder game. You're going all the way up, doing all the right things, and then one bite of the snake, you come crashing all the way down. The higher you go, the crash is even more deep, even more intensive. So therefore, try and keep going. You need to take only small steps, but when you make those steps, take those steps in a proper way, in such a way that you don't have to come all the way back. So what did Devi do? Devi looked at Kameshwara's face and smiled, creating Ganesha. Ganesha, in turn, what did he do? He shattered the Jayavigna Yantra. And because he shattered the Jayavigna Yantra, it pleased Devi. Lalitha Tripurasundari Devi was extremely pleased by Lord Ganesha, who shattered the Jayavigna Yantra. So, Mahaganesha Nirbhinna. Nirbhigna means splintered or split or broke down. Mahaganesha Nirbhinna Vigna Yantra Praharshita. Praharshita means she rejoiced. She who rejoices when Ganesha shatters all the obstacles. That is what we just covered right now. Mahaganesha Nirbhinna Vigna Yantra Praharshita. We'll go to 79. Om Bandha Surendra Nirmukta Shastra Pratyastra Varshini. Bhanda Surendra Nirmukta Shastra Pratyastra Varshini. She who showers counter weapons to each weapon fired at her by Bandasura. Banda Surendra. Bandasura Indra. It becomes one word when you combine it in Sanskrit. Bandasura Indra becomes Banda Surendra. Indra means king. So he was the king of all these asuras. Bandasuras, king of all the asuras. Nirmukta. Nirmukta is released. Released is the Nirmukta means released. Shastra. Shastra is weapons. Pratyastra. Counter weapons. Varshini. Varshini means showers. So what did she do? She showered counter weapons to each weapon fired at her by Bandasura. So what is the main weapon of Bandasura? It is the weapon of delusion. Delusion is the main weapon. And how does that delusion happen? Delusion happens because of ignorance. Lalitha Tripurasundari says, you take one step towards Devi and Devi takes 10 steps towards you. You take one step towards Devi and Devi will take 10 steps towards you. So, if you are thirsty for self-knowledge, the Devi gives the power and concentration needed for unbroken self-inquiry. So, if you have that thirst for knowledge, if that thirst is there for knowledge, then definitely you will get the direction from Devi. Remember, if you take one step towards Devi, she will take 10 steps towards you. Banda Surendra Nirmukta Shastra Pratyarsa Varshinyai Namaha. We'll move to the last one. The last one is Om Karangulina Gautpanna Narayana Dasha Kritihi. Om Karangulina Gotpanna Narayana Dashakrityai Namaha. Dashakrityai Namaha. Karangulina. Karangulina. Angulina. Kara means finger. Angulina. Karangulina refers to her fingernails. How many fingernails does Devi have? She actually has 4 hands. So if you look at it, she actually has 20. But in this case, we are referring to the 10 fingernails. She has 10 fingernails. Supushyami said correctly 10. Yeah, so she's got 10 fingernails. Nagotpanna. Nagotpanna is from the Naga Utpanna. Naga is the fingernail. Utpanna, coming from the fingernail. Narayana. Narayana refers to Lord Narayana. Dashagridi. Dashagridi is the 10th avatars. So the one of the meanings is that she who created from her fingernails all the 10 incarnations of Narayana. So they say that Narayana actually came from Devi. This is one of the names of Devi, that from the 10 fingernails of Devi came the 10 incarnations of Narayana. So Dashakriti means Dasha means 10, Agriti coming. So 10 incarnations or 10 forms of Narayana came from Lalitha Tripurasundari Devi. So each of these incarnations came from the fingernail at an appropriate time. Whenever it was appropriate, they say that it was at that time that one of the incarnations of Devi. Now there are several. Obviously, we all know the various reasons, like the way we have learnt it. Why Krishna, Rama, Govinda, Parashurama, all these incarnations happen. So that is the way we have learned them, and these are pure references or cross references which are being referred to in this particular case. Now, Dashagriti is also referred to the 5 states or the 5 dashas of the jiva and the 5 kritis of Ishvara. Which are the 5 states of the jiva? The 5 states of the jiva are waking, which is the human body, waking, dreaming, deep sleep, Turya, which is actually somewhere in between, which is the perception of reality, and the abidance in Brahman, which is the state beyond beyond Turya. Beyond Turya, that is called as Brahman, which is the most exalted state. The 5 functions of Ishvara. The 5 functions of Ishvara are creation, maintenance, destruction, dissolution, and restoration of the universe. These are the 5 functions of Ishvara as well. So this Dasha Akriti can refer to the 5 states of Jiva and the 5 actions or the 5 functions or the 5 kriyas of Ishvara as well. So these also come from Devi's fingernails. So basically what this refers to is the strength and might of Devi. The strength and might of Devi is referred to in this particular name of Lalitha Tripurasundari. Om Karangulina Gotpanna Narayana Dashakrityai Namaha. So this covers our plan for today. Tomorrow we will go till 85, and the day after we will attempt to complete till 90, and then we will be going fairly faster because all the names and the meanings therein are a lot smaller, and the interpretation is also a lot lesser. So we'll close. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma hamritam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om lokaha samastaha sukino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukino bhavantu. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। करचरणकृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वा पराधं विहितमविहितं वा सर्वमेतत्क्षमस्व। जय जय करुणाब्दे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो। जय जय करुणाब्दे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो। जय जय करुणाब्दे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो। ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।